This is your weekly Wednesday reminder that it is, in fact, Wednesday. And it's 7 p.m. It's time for Fantastic Voyage, live, unprov, on location from our houses to your living room. Welcome to your screen, your host for this evening, Bill!
Hello, everybody. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Fantastic Voyage Improv, live, unscripted, unrelenting, unprov, coming right at you on this Wednesday. You haven't changed your underwear all week, but luckily, your coworkers are none the wiser. Let's get right to it. You came to watch a digital improv show, and I wanted to introduce our players for tonight. Please give it up for terrific Travis.
Woo! Hey, you are just my type.
Yeah, that is right. That is right. And how about the zany Zach?
Hey, yeah.
Please welcome to the screen the mellifluous Matt.
Ooh.
See, what did I tell you? And how about the bodacious Blake?
Hi.
Everybody give it up for the spectacular Steve.
What?
Oh, yeah, there he is in the hat. And last but not least, we couldn't do this show without her. She takes your suggestions and jokes with you in the chat. It is the bodacious Becca. Anyway, this is Digital Improv. We are Fantastic Voyage Improv. Thank you for once again joining us online, wherever you may be watching this show tonight. We love seeing you in the audience, and we love taking your suggestions. We plan to spin those suggestions into comedy gold, and we'll get started right away with a game called Meanwhile At. And this is a game in which we start in a fictitious town and take the scene wherever it needs to go. And so to start off the game, Becca, I'm going to need the name of a fictitious town where this scene might take place from the audience.
The land of cartoons.
All right, this scene takes place in the land of cartoons. This is the game of Meanwhile At.
Whoa. There's so much.
I'm trying to draw.
No, it's fantastic. I'm looking at all the drawings that you've done. It tells a fantastic story of your main character, the spoon.
I'm trying to draw Mr. Spoonsworth.
Yes, Spoonsworth riding a bike. Spoonsworth traveling to the moon. What? He's now eating spaghetti?
Mr. Spoonsworth loves spaghetti.
Meanwhile, in the Department of Silly Sound Effects, okay, they got Spoonsworth slurping spaghetti. What do you have for that, Buster? What sound do you have for Spoonsworth slurping spaghetti?
Okay, I'm thinking something like crunch, 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 crunch.
For spaghetti?
Well, yeah, because he didn't cook it. Mr. Spoonsworth's not a good cook.
Wow, good point. Yep, okay. Okay, I like it.
Nom nom, nom nom, nom nom.
Okay, I mean, that would be like how he reacts to it, but while he's eating it, it's all crunchy.
Yeah.
Nom nom,
I don't
nom
know.
nom. That's what I think.
What kind of world do you think this is? But you can't nom and crunch at the same time. It's just not.
Meanwhile, in Spoonworth's living room.
I have had a lousy day.
Mr. Spoonsworth, you must tell me more about your lousy day. I'm here to help you.
They wanted me to cook. I'm a terrible cook.
Well, we realize that, but the more you cook, the better you become. What were you
That's not
cooking?
how this works.
It's not?
I've been trying to be a cook for 24 years. I just can't do it. I can't take this anymore.
It's time to change professions, Mr. Spoonsworth.
What?
Yes,
I'm scared.
I think you should be a ladle.
A ladle?
A ladle. Does that
It's
sound
an order of julienne fries at table 6.
Oh, Julian, fries for table 6. That's my worst. I'm not good at this. I'll be right back.
Oh, Mr. Spoonsworth.
Meanwhile, at table 6, I won't stand for this. If Julian Fries, don't get some food in a moment, I shall be very, very upset.
Yeah, Julian, I know, Mr. Spoonsworth. He's got a reputation. He's got a 4-star restaurant. I mean, previously he's had potato fries. He's had sweet potato fries. I knew he could do Julian. He's done waffles.
Well, I expect some delicious cuisine in front of me ASAP.
Okay, well, even if it's a little bit late, that's how he's building up your taste buds. Do you feel yourself salivating?
Table, I'm sorry. This is Zachary, your waiter.
Yeah.
The cook has left the kitchen.
What?
You might have a long wait.
If he's waiting any longer, he's not going to give us a good review.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Do you guys want some water? I've got lots of water.
Meanwhile, back at the cartoon artist studio. That was a fantastic story about Spoonsworth. I just can't wait to hear the next story and his new adventures.
Yes, I get the stories from my dreams.
They're fantastic dreams. You are a fantastic cartoon artist.
I write the stories and then I draw them.
So what's next on the horizon? What will Spoonsworth do next?
Spoonsworth will have to pay the mortgage, but he's run out of money.
And that is the game of Meanwhile At. Stay tuned for Spoonsworth Pays the Mortgage.
Spoonsworth is busy on the bottle.
Spoonsworth conquers his addictions. Coming after that mortgage one. This next game, we are going to move on to dubbing. This is the game of dubbing, so I need everyone to join me on stage for this game. And how dubbing is going to work is that 2 people are going to recite the scene silently, and 2 people are going to dub in what they say, foreign film style, and hilarity will ensue. So, Becca, can I get suggestions from the audience, please?
The suggestion is restaurant manager.
Restaurant manager. Restaurant manager is your suggestion, and I need Steve back, I need everyone back on stage. Restaurant manager is your suggestion. Take it away, players.
What? I just can't do this. I'm not the best cook in the world. I can't even find my hairnet.
Your hairnet is necessary, or else the Department of Health is going to have a field day with us.
Okay. Maybe if I shave my head real quick. Yeah, that's it. I'll be right back.
No. Then we'll have food all over everywhere. Hair. Well, unless it is a hair souffle, do you know the best hair souffle recipe?
Oh, when I had issues as a kid, Mom used to put a bowl on my head and just like snip around the edges. Do you think you could?
Oh my goodness. You've got the most beautiful cabeza in the world. I don't see why you ever have hair. If I had a head like that, I would shave it all off.
Well, clank, rattle, crash, boing. Fazoo!
Whatever you do, don't break the vase.
This is the best. Nobody wants pasta anyway.
You are correct, but You must take that inspiration and dig it into the dough. Smash it. Smash it. But make sure no hair follicles get in there. None of them.
Hold on just 1 second. I've got another idea. Okay.
You'd better have a good idea. Mr. Monopoly is coming soon. He will be expecting the highest pomp and circumstance. He will be expecting banners.
Okay, this is my biggest, best, reddest bowl.
No. No, red reminds him of Baltic Avenue. And Hitler.
I'll take Hitler. No, that's not good at all. Okay. Oh, God, what am I going to do?
Come on.
Food is burning and I can't.
Rabbits and put them in my hat. We don't need the rabbits for the stew. Put them in my hat. If we can wow him with magic, well, then he'll surely.
Hey, did you ever see that video by Devo?
Oh, no, not Devo. Even though they did the best cover of the Rolling Stones Satisfaction, I don't think that de-evolution is the way to get us a good review from the Mr. Monopoly man. Don't you know?
Okay, hold on. Just a second. I'm not out of things yet. Somewhere over here. Ah! Amazon.
No good.
That was the game of dubbing, and it's good to see Blake still has his hair and his head. And now we are going to move on to our first line structure game of the evening. This is the game of Foxworthy. It's based on the very famous twangy comedian who has that one joke, if and you, blah, 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 you might be so-and-so, and I don't want to get sued, so I'm not going to finish the joke. But these players will, by taking your suggestions and spinning them into fantastic reusable one-liners for all of you out there. Becca, what's our first suggestion tonight?
A chimney sweep.
A chimney sweep.
If you've ever tried to do the worst English accent ever, you might be a chimney sweep.
If you like dancing on the roof of houses, you might be a chimney sweep.
If you go to work wearing your best soot, you might be a chimney sweep.
If and you have a big coal buildup in your back pipes, you might be a chimney sweep.
If and you try to sound British, but you only end up sounding like a Dick Van Dyke, you might be a chimney sweep.
That is a better version of my joke, Bill. Good job.
All right, Becca, next suggestion, please.
TikTok famous.
TikTok famous.
If you're famous for lasting 22 seconds, you might be TikTok famous.
If you gained celebrity by being the person who invented the grandfather clock, you might be TikTok famous.
If you only know one dance move, you might be TikTok famous.
If you failed as an influencer but didn't give up on your dream, you might be TikTok famous.
If you cannot correctly spell the word tick nor the word talk, you might be TikTok famous.
If you are my Aunt LaRue, you might be TikTok famous.
Hi, Aunt LaRue.
Hey, Aunt LaRue.
Aunt LaRue watching?
Yeah.
If you can't stand to watch anything for longer than 30 seconds, you might be TikTok famous.
All right, Becca, how about our next suggestion?
A meat salesman.
A meat salesman.
If you're
all-
always at the butt of every joke, you might be a meat salesman.
If you have a beef with all of your customers, you might be a meat salesman.
If you scoff at porno pizza delivery men for their lack of sausage, you might be a meat salesman.
If you get away with beating your meat in public, you might be a meat salesman.
If you're the only person who could answer that lady from the Wendy's commercials in the 80s, you might be a meat salesman.
If in your job requires you to handle a tenderloin, you might be a meat salesman.
If you like to stick it in other people's faces,
If
you
you
might be a meat salesman.
if you T-bone dozens of people every week, you might be a meat salesman.
All right. I can no beyond meat jokes, no impossible jokes. I'm impressed with the restraint, guys. Becca, let's get our next suggestion, please.
A homeschooler.
Homeschooler.
If you have no friends, you might be a homeschooler.
If you are any child right now, you might be a homeschooler.
If you were both from king and queen, you might be a homeschooler.
If you were the varsity star on literally every team you had, you might be a homeschooler.
If when you get in trouble, your teacher sends you to your room, you might be a homeschooler.
If your only sex ed was sneaking into your parents' bedroom, you might be a homeschooler.
If the concept of homework is now room work, you might be a homeschooler.
If you don't know whether to call her mom or teacher, you might be a homeschooler.
If you now bring your school to your lunch, you might be a homeschooler.
All right, Becca, next suggestion from our fantastic audience, please.
A macrame artist.
Oh, a macrame artist.
If your favorite Saturday night activity is sitting home and beating it, you might be a macrame artist.
I didn't think we'd get any there, so I just had to end it on the best one that came forward. So that is the game of Foxworthy. Jeff, we hope we did you proud with that one. For this next game, I am going to need, pardon me, Travis and Blake to stay on stage and everybody else to leave the stage for the game of forward reverse. Now, this is a very physical game, and both these gentlemen are going to be doing a scene, a very physical scene, hopefully. And when I so choose, I will tell them to either go forward or reverse. Pretty simple game, and even if you haven't seen it before, it's one of our best, and you'll quickly get the hang of it, I'm sure. So, Becca, what's a suggestion from the audience for this game?
Spelunking.
Spelunking. You gentlemen are spelunking. This is the game of forward reverse.
Got the gear.
Gotta be careful. The ceilings in here are pretty. Oh,
You must watch your head. Now put that light on like I've told you before.
Reverse.
Put that light on like I've told you before. You need to watch yourself.
ow. Oh, the ceilings in here are really low.
I've got
Forward.
the gear. I've got the gear.
Ceilings in here are really low. Oh,
Now you've got to watch yourself. Now turn that light on like I've told you before.
Reverse.
Now turn that light on like I've told you before.
oh.
You've got to watch yourself.
The ceilings here are really low.
Forward.
The ceilings here are really low. Oh,
Now you've got to watch.
Reverse.
oh, the ceilings here are really low.
Forward.
The ceilings here are really low. Oh,
Now you've got to watch yourself. Now turn that light on like I've told you before. Let's get further in here.
I hope you know what you're doing, Deke.
I am. Just trust me. Now when it comes to this spot here, you need to lightly bend and jump.
Reverse.
When you get to the spot, you gotta lightly bend and jump.
Forward.
When you get to the spot, you gotta lightly bend and jump.
Reverse.
Now, when you get to the spot, you have to lightly bend and jump.
Forward.
When you get to the spot, you have to lightly bend and jump. Okay. Oh, goodness gracious, you falled again.
Reverse.
Goodness gracious, you falled again.
Forward.
Oh, goodness gracious, you fouled again. Pick yourself up. Come on. Here, grab my hand. And
Losing my grip.
up. There you go. Oh, lost the grip of you.
Reverse.
Lost the grip of you.
I'm losing my grip.
I'm pulling you. Grab my hand. Grab my hand.
Forward.
Grab my hand. And I'm pulling on you.
Losing my grip.
Oh, goodness gracious. Are you okay?
I think I'm okay.
It's hard to see in here.
Reverse.
Woo.
Forward.
Woo.
Reverse.
Woo.
Forward. Forward.
Woo.
Reverse.
Woo.
Forward.
Woo.
You look so out of breath. You sure you wanted to go on the splunking adventure with me?
I have to. This is where my grandfather said the gold was buried.
Very well. We only have to take 10 more steps. According to the map that you provided me, 10 more steps. Can you do this now?
I can do that.
Be very careful and walk with me. Take a step and take a step and take a step. That's 3.
Reverse.
Be careful. That is 3. And take a step.
Forward.
Okay. Take a step. And take a step. And take a step. And
Reverse.
That is 3. Take a step. And take a step. And take a step.
Forward.
Take a step. And take a step. And take a step. That is 3. 7 more to go. Keep it moving.
Hey, guys, you can't be doing this in the mini golf course anymore.
Oh my goodness, we've been found.
Ah.
I told you
Reverse.
guys,
Ah.
Oh my goodness, we've been found.
you can't be doing this in the mini golf course anymore, guys.
That is 3. Now take a step. And take a step. And take a step. Okay, just follow me. We have 10 more steps to the goal, according to the map you provided to me.
We have to. This is where my grandfather said the gold was buried.
Are you going to be okay? Is that all right?
Woo!
Oh no, you have fallen.
I'm losing my grip.
Reach out, grab my hand.
Oh.
Now you just take a bend and a jump. Now I've told you, turn that light on.
Ow. Ow.
Are you okay?
Oh, the ceilings in here are really low.
I've got the gear. All right,
Come on.
it's time to enter the cave. It's time.
That is the game of forward reverse. Fantastic job by these two guys. Everybody join me back on our digital stage. And now it is time for us to welcome a special guest. And that guest is Suzanne. Everybody give it up. Suzanne from the Pangea Theater. Please, Suzanne, tell us where you're from and then what you guys are doing during this time.
Awesome. Yeah, my name's Suzanne, and I am from Pangea World Theater. I'm the resident stage manager and events coordinator there. Also married to Zach, but the Pangea thing was more important. So Pangea, I've been there for 5 years, and Pangea really works at the intersection of art and social change and social justice. We promote artists locally, nationally, and from all around the world. We are a world theater. And every year we do our annual gala. Basically, this is our big fundraising event of the year where we get to have 200 people in a room and celebrate our past season. Well, this year we can't do that. So we've decided to do our gala online, starting on June 7th, going into July 1st, which is actually the first day of our 25th season, which is huge. So throughout those 25 days, representing the 25 years, Pangea has been serving the community. We will have a chance for you to resource and support our work. We will have videos from past artists, we'll have panels, play discussions, also a silent auction where we are promoting local businesses to make sure that they are with us in the future. So you can go to pangeaworldtheater.org and you can also support our work today or follow through from June 7th to July 1st, all the amazing events that we'll have in store for you.
Fantastic, Suzanne. Thank you very much. Obviously a really worthy cause, and we're honored that you could join us on our digital stage for this week's game. And you will be playing in a game next called Drama Queen with Steve. And so I need everyone to exit stage left as I get the suggestion from Becca. Becca, what has our lovely audience teed up for us?
You guys are coworkers doing landscaping, tree trimming, and
all right. Steve and Suzanne are coworkers doing landscaping, tree trimming, and the like. This is the game of Drama Queen.
Jerry?
Ah,
Jerry, was the water feature gonna go by the house or over by the garage? Jerry?
Water feature.
Yeah, the water feature.
You mean the little boy peeing?
You know, more like a babbling brook, not like a solid stream. I think they wanted more of a babble.
I don't know about. My work order doesn't say anything about a babbling anything.
So, what are you saying? Are you saying that I haven't ran this landscaping company for 19 years and I don't know the difference between a trickle, a stream, and a babble? What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that I'm so inept? I am so just disconnected from the flow of water that I do not know the difference between a little boy peeing and a babbling brook? Is that what you're trying to say?
No. I'm just saying my work order's probably wrong. Let me check the truck.
Oh, thank you. Sorry I blew up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's looking pretty nice out here. It's looking pretty nice.
Yeah. I hope that the work will get finished soon, so then it'll look really nice back here.
Wait. What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that this is my first day on the job? That I haven't been running a backhoe like that big machine back there since I was knee-high to an elephant? Are you trying to say that I just sit around leaning on my shovel all day, bossing people around and drinking back their brewskis while everyone else is getting their necks burned and their sweat drips down their drawers? Is that what you're trying to say to me?
No, that's why I hired you for this job. I know you're the best landscaper, dirt layer, bricklayer here in the whole county. That is not what I'm saying. No, you can highly recommend it, and I know you're gonna have this job done lickety split.
I really am. I truly am. And it's all thanks to you and your prompt bill pay, which brings up an interesting issue. There is some outstanding invoices.
So, what are you trying to say, huh? Are you trying to say that I don't pay my bills on time? Are you trying to say that I am just baffled by numbers? Are you trying to say that I have passed basic first grade math, that I do not understand how numbers equal together and need to be paid by a bill? Is that what you're saying? That I live in my car in the Target parking lot? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, not at all. I'm just saying it might be a clerical or an accounting issue that you might want to make some phone calls and clear up on your end. That's all I'm trying to say.
Oh, just a ring. Completely wonderful. All right. So now that is all straightened out, I think we talked about the water feature. So can you kind of build this little like sandbox park that I wanted for the kids over here?
A sandbox?
Uh-huh.
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that cats are just welcome in this yard? That you want to build a sandbox? Next thing you know, you're going to have lions, you're going to have tigers, and you're going to have bears, oh my, back here pooping their giant poops all over my beautiful backyard paradise. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I love cats.
All right.
All right. That is the game of press conference. And Suzanne, thank you so much for joining us on our digital stage tonight. Can you do us a favor and remind the good folks in the audience where they can donate?
Yes, Pangea World Theater.org. You can go right to our website, pangeaworldtheater.org, and you can make a contribution, support us today, and look for all of that amazing content through June.
All right, beautiful. Thank you again so much for joining us. Let's give a round of applause for Suzanne.
The link's in our comments and in the video description too.
Thank you very much, Becca. Yep, that is a good reminder. So you can find the links, as Becca said, in the comments and in the video section. You can also find a link to a few other local places that we know and love, including Strike Theater and Huge Theater, among others, as far as places that are doing great local improv and local art in general, and places that need your support, that have physical spaces and could really use your generosity and your financial support. If you can spare a couple shekels, throw them your way to make sure that the Twin Cities continues to be one of the underrated and one of the real thriving art scenes in the country. So that would be great. And we're going to move on to the game of good, bad, and ugly. And Becca has been soliciting some questions from the audience tonight. But before we get to those, I want to introduce our players. I want to talk to who is on our panel tonight that will be answering those questions. And let's start with you, sir. Let's start with you, the good. Oh yes, Father, welcome.
Yes. Hello. I'm so happy to be here. Communicating with your congregation. I am Father Koski. And it's just great to be able to be here and spread the word to all the little lambs in the area.
All right, and how about you, Blake? What's your story right now? Oh no, let's go to Zach. Actually, Zach, what do you would start with the hat? Who
I don't know what you're talking about, young fella, but my name's Jethro, and I grow cows. I grow cows for a living.
You grow cows for a living. Okay, well,
yep.
Well,
I have all kinds, Holsteins, milk cows, the brown ones too.
Yeah, I think that's what Holsteins are, but yeah, we'll let that slide. So we have a shepherd of men, and we also have a shepherd of cows.
Yes.
In our panel tonight, and let's meet the last person on our panel. You, sir, introduce yourself, please.
Yeah. I'm Dr. Kip Kowalski. We're here at the Antarctic Research Base.
Okay, welcome. Yeah, you look cold. Hopefully you're defrosting a little bit, and hopefully hopefully you can get out the answers when needed. So, Becca, what's the first question that our audience wanted to know tonight?
How do I avoid filling up on breadsticks every time I go to Olive Garden?
How do I avoid filling up breadsticks every time they go to Olive Garden?
I'll start off with this. But before I start, Jethro and Kip, I'm so glad that you can be here. Jethro, I hope that you're plowing the fields and reaping everything that you sow, and that the harvest is bountiful.
I've heard enough. I've heard enough.
For you to be blessed. And Kip, I hope that the warmth of Christ finds you. But when it comes to breadsticks, I know the temptation is around every corner. But as the scripture says, man cannot live by bread alone. And so while that temptation of breadsticks is so heavy, you need to realize that we cannot live just by bread, but by the word of God in every form. And also some soup and some good pasta to mix it up.
Well said, Father. Jethro, how about you?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to agree with the old padre here. You are going to your restaurant or ordering online or whatever the who's and what's its kids are doing these days, and you're ordering breadsticks. By fluggers, you are not a man. You have to order a steak. You have to order a steak, and you have to chop it right off a cow, and you have to just drop it in the pan, flip it, and then take it right out of there and chew it, gnaw on it real good.
Okay, all right. And how about you, Kip?
Okay, you want to know how to avoid eating too many breadsticks at Olive Garden? I'll tell you how to avoid eating too many breadsticks at Olive Garden. Volunteer to work at a research base in fucking Antarctica. That is how. There is not an Olive Garden within 4,000 miles of me. There's not a breadstick within 4,000 miles of me. Even if there was, I couldn't buy any because I volunteered to do this.
Cows don't grow there either.
And Kip, we appreciate your sacrifice. The knowledge that you are providing is helping us. So we pray for you. And I'm glad that this internet connection can reach your congregation. Because even you in the Arctic.
I'm so glad to hear that, Father. Could you ask the guy upstairs to cure my frostbite, please? Can he do that?
Well, he can lead you. Like a horse can be led to water, but you can't force the horse to drink. So you do still need science, and science in Christ do not go separately in separate hands, but they work together as in hands praying.
All right. Truly, Kip, the fact that you've come to our stage to share your story, it really warms all of our hearts tonight. So, Becca, what's another question from the audience that they would like answered by our fantastic panel?
What is your favorite extra ingredient to add to mac and cheese?
What is your favorite extra ingredient to add to macaroni and cheese?
Well, I'll start off. I mean, obviously, love is, but that's for any recipe. So since you're actually looking for cooking advice, I would say bacon bits. I mean, those add a nice little ting, but make sure you don't forget the love too. Love you.
Bacon bits go very well with love. How about you, Jethro? What do you think we can add to a macaroni and cheese to really give it that extra thing?
Father, you can shove your bacon bits straight up your ass. I'm gonna add my fat back right into the bacon. A big old slab of fat back. Namby-pamby, bacon bits for salad. No, a big old slab of fat back right off the butt of a cow.
Fat is flavor, Jethro. That's what they say. So I think that's really sound advice from you. How about you, Kip?
Favorite ingredient to add to mac and cheese? Way to stick that knife in and dig it deeper, okay? I ate my last box of mac and cheese a month ago. All right? I am desperate here. I am in survival mode, okay? All I'm starting to think is that these penguins that are waddling around outside this research station are starting to look real delicious. Okay? So if anything, maybe hope that I will get off this fucking godforsaken frozen
Hope is that
glacier and get
special
back to
ingredient.
somewhere where there's actual real food.
Sounds like you could use a little hope and a little mac and cheese right now.
Did you bring a gun with you, young man?
A what?
A gun.
No.
No. Then you're gonna have to strangle those penguins to death to survive.
I guess so. Because much like Minnesota, Antarctica does not allow guns on these premises.
Take your 2 claws here. And just
You don't need guns. All
around.
Christ carried was a sword.
Yeah?
Just put it around
Well,
the
do you
neck.
think he could appear and give me some of that bread from the Last Supper? Maybe some of that wine?
Oh yes, I would love to give you sacrament at some point.
Maybe set a bush on fire so I have a source of heat? We haven't had heat here for 3 weeks.
All right. Well, Kip, you hang in there. Becca, I think the audience has plenty more questions. What's the next question that our panel can answer for them?
Can you train a cat?
Can you train a cat? We'll start with you, Father.
You can attempt to train a cat. Can you change a heathen? Can you change a tire? I mean, it comes in varying degrees. Christ works in mysterious ways. You may think that the cat may be imperceptible to training, but could I train Jethro to appreciate the love of God? You may say no.
What?
It's time and patience.
Well, who's calling my name?
Yes, I'm just saying there's many difficult tasks, but just because it is difficult does not mean that it is not a worthwhile and blessed endeavor. Okay? Patience and love is what's necessary.
Jethro, can you train a cat? You probably have a few of those around your barn.
I don't know about any cats, but I know from experience that you can train a cow. You can train a cow
To do what?
to be your best friend. You can be a cow to play checkers. You can train a cow to shoot the shit. And when you get mad at the cow, you can shoot him and eat him.
Jethro, when you play checkers with a cow, do you have to encourage them to move?
I am not impressed by your wordy mouthy. Are you mouthing off at me?
No, sir. I'm just trying to bring a little levity to this very serious and stoic panel. Kip, how about you? Do you think you could train a cat in the Arctic or otherwise?
Do you people want me to hunt you down when I get off this rock? For the love of everything that is good and pure, you've already driven the knife into me and stabbed me. Now you're setting me on fire, too. My cat froze 2 weeks ago. Okay?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Can't train him to do much, but he's really good at stay. He's got that one mastered.
Yes, and Kip, I'm sure you feel betrayed, but it's not nearly the betrayal that Jesus felt by Judas. So we are here acknowledging your sacrifice, and you will be lifted up in the eyes of God.
Hey,
come off it, Father.
Captain Church, does Jesus have to listen to that godforsaken DVD of that Cats movie that just came out? Because our DVD player is broken and it's been playing it nonstop for 5 weeks. Did Jesus have to listen to that?
Okay, that truly must be held, especially if it is not the butthole version of Cats. But as Jesus walked 40 days in the desert, you can spend 40 days in your desert.
Do you know how much I would love to be in a desert right now? Do you know how much I would love to feel 100+ degree heat?
And you can when you accept Christ into your heart.
Little cold man, your misery brings me joy.
All right, all right. Well, I think that's all the time we have for questions today, but I would be remiss as the host of this fantastic panel if I didn't give each of these gentlemen the opportunity to give one final last word, and we'll start with you, Padre.
Thank you so much. Yes, once again, I'm Father Koski. I will be zooming over at the church of Managa, and which I will be saying the word of God. I want to say, Jethro, you are blessed in the eyes of the Lord, as are you, Kip. You can find that heat and that warmth in the love of God. And I pray for you both. Have a blessed day.
And how about you, Jethro? You and the cows have a final word to add to our panel tonight.
You haven't lived until you've made a cow your best friend and then needed to kill that said cow in order to survive. So my advice, befriend a cow and then kill it.
Powerful, very, very powerful. An experience that no doubt none of our audience has ever had or probably ever will have. But thank you for your parting words. And Kip, how about you? If you're still able to speak and form words, what parting words do you have from this panel?
I just want to say, this has been my only contact with other human beings in 9 months. And I just want to thank all of you, Jethro, Father, host, everyone who's asked these questions, for pushing me to the brink of losing faith in all humanity. But I cling to the single thread of hope that someday I will get off this rock and I will find you and I will let you experience what life has been like for me for the last 9 months. So I hope that you all do well and live long and prosper so that when my volunteer stint ends here in 2022, I can find you and I can make you feel what I'm feeling.
We have a certain set of skills.
May you be blessed by Christ and Saint Urho.
That is our panel for today. Good, Bad, and Ugly was the game. Thanks to all who joined us, whether it was a dairy farm in Wisconsin or a unmanned research center in the last vestiges of hope in the Arctic. So while these guys get back to our stage, Blake, find a comb somewhere. It's time for two of our most popular, iconic games in the fantastic Voyage Improv canon. And we're going to start with Sex With Me. This is a game where we get your suggestions and tell you how those suggestions are like sex with us. So from the audience, Becca, what's our first suggestion tonight from our fantastic audience?
The Fringe Festival.
The Fringe Festival. Sex With Me is like the Fringe Festival.
Sex with me is like the Fringe Festival. You have to buy your ticket.
Sex with me is like the Fringe Festival. It only happens in the fall.
Sex with me is like the Fringe Festival. It's canceled for this year, but next year expect a blowout.
Sex with me is like the Fringe Festival. You're gonna hope somebody grabs your ball.
Sex with me is like the Fringe Festival. It only sucks half of the time.
Sex with me is like the Fringe Festival. Ignore all the bad reviews online.
All right, Becca, another suggestion, please.
Pecans.
Pecans.
Sex with me is like pecans. I'll be eating that pie.
Sex with me is like pecans. You're not quite sure if it's a nut.
Sex with me is like pecans. Wrong, because it's pecans, and I'll be pecan getting on you.
Sex with me is like pecans, really expensive and disappointingly small.
Becca, another suggestion, please.
The letter H.
The letter H, a fine letter, if you ask me.
Sex with me is like the letter H. You better believe it comes before I.
Sex with me is like the letter H. The Greeks invented it.
Sex with me is like the letter H. Muppets sing a song about it.
Sex with me is like the letter H. It is often silent.
Sex with me is like the letter H. I got to use these two fingers right here.
Sex with me. Sex with me is like the letter H. It gets swallowed in England.
Sex with me is like a letter H, silent half the time.
Oh, I see what you did there. Becca, another suggestion, please.
Jaundice.
Jaundice.
Sex with me is like jaundice, because John did this and John did that.
Sex with me is like jaundice. You're probably going to want to see a doctor.
Sex with me is like jaundice. It happens in quarantine only.
All right. That's our range of jaundice jokes. Becca, another suggestion, please.
A marshmallow.
A marshmallow. Sex with me is like a marshmallow. I bet you'll want some more.
Sex with me is like a marshmallow. You won't hear a peep.
I'm sorry, your host was a little quick. Was a little late on the draw, but we just have to end it. Matt gets the blackout line once again, like he does very often. Round of applause to everyone for their suggestions tonight and for their jokes, because who wouldn't want to hear about how objects are like sex with us? So this brings us to our last and final game, and I hate to end the show on such a somber note, but folks, there has been a murder. Ooh. So I'm going to need most of the players in front of me on my screen to leave, and Travis to stay. All right, there he is. And so most of you know by now how this game works. We need a location, we need an occupation, and we need a murder weapon. So Becca, what is this week's location?
The inside of a rifle.
The inside of a rifle. Okay, all right, very specific, I like it. And the occupation of the murderer?
A pet sitter.
A pet sitter. And last but not least, the murder weapon this week?
A shamrock shake.
A shamrock shake. All right, the Bruce special for this week was a shamrock shake. So Travis, can you please recap each of those suggestions for us?
Certainly. The location for which this murder takes place is inside a rifle. The occupation is a pet sitter, and the murder weapon is a shamrock shake.
All right. Well, while we get the first detective back in here, I want to again remind people to donate to Pangea and to Huge and Strike if they can. Links are down below. And first detective's back.
Zoop, zoop.
Za? Me? Ah, bzz. Bzz, bzz.
Yerp. Jabba jabba jabba. Jabba.
Bzz.
Jabba 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 jabba.
Jizza. Zip.
Jabba jabba.
Ding dong. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Zip-za. Ha. Oh. Ha. Ba. Bza. Zip-za. Bza. Ba-ba-za. Ah. Ah. Da. 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 Da.
All right. Well, one detective is down. Let's call the second detective in. Second detective, come on down. Matt, we got to work on that coordination next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jabba. Jabba jabba. Jabba. Jabba jabba jabba.
Ja, Haber.
Jabba jabba. Abba jabba. Jabba jabba jabba. Jabba jabba. Chatter. Jabba jabba jabba. Jabba cha cha cha. Wabba wabba.
Ja.
Wabba wabba. Wabba.
Da war er. Ja, da.
Jabba jabba jabba. Jabba. Jabba 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 jabba. Shabba dabba. Shabba. Shabba. Jabba cha cha.
Ah, da war er.
Jabba jabba jabba.
Da war er.
Jabba ba ba ba.
Ja.
Jabba dabba ba. Jabba dabba.
Oh, wait a minute.
Jabba dabba.
Wow. Partei.
All right. Two detectives down. One remains. Let's get the third detective in here on three. 1, 2, 3. Third detective, come on back. There he is.
Zaba.
Zabba-da-wa-ba-bee-ba.
Zaba. Zaba. Zaba.
Zo.
Zaba. Zaba.
Pow, pow. Pow, 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 pow.
Zaba.
Pow.
Click. Huh?
Oh.
Huh? ça va. Tu vois, voilà.
Pow, 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 pow.
Yeah, ça va. Huh?
Ça va.
Yeah, ça va. Ça va. Woof, 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 woof. Ça va. Ça va. Ça va. Chụp, chụp à. Chụp à. Chụp bù. Ça va. Chụp à. Okay. Ça va.
All right. That was entertaining. We'll see how the three detectives do in guessing the location, occupation, and murder weapon tonight. So let's start with our last detective, Zach. Where did this murder take place?
It took place at a rifle range.
Not quite. Blake, where did this location take place?
More precisely, it took place inside the barrel of a rifle.
Yes, very nice. Very, very nice. Zach, what was the occupation of the murderer?
A dog trainer.
Not quite. Blake?
Okay. A cat trainer.
Again, not quite. Matt?
Dog breeder.
Again, so close. Travis, what was the occupation?
The occupation was a pet sitter.
Very close, though. Everyone kind of right around it. And Zach, what was the murder weapon?
The murder weapon was a bunch of Irish guys drinking beer.
Not quite.
Usually that's the murder weapon, just not this time.
yeah, that's killed before. Blake?
No, I believe the murder weapon was the very, very famous Shamrock Shake.
Yes, very, very nice. Very nice. How about our detectives tonight? Fantastic job guessing. And again, great job gesturing by everyone involved. So everyone else, join us back on stage, please. Steve, get back out here. This has been the show for this week. Digital improv at its finest, brought to you by Fantastic Voyage Improv. Once again, our players for tonight have been the magnificent Matt. The zucchini, Zach. The very believable Blake.
Very believable. Very.
The talismanic Travis. And yes, we do love our fans. The supercalifragilistic Steve.
Ooh.
And again, thank you so much for taking our suggestions tonight. We couldn't do this show without her. It is the bold Black Becca.
Yeah.
Once again, folks, we have been Fantastic Voyage Improv, doing digital improv for you. Donate to our partners below. Huge strike in the Pangea Theater. Thanks to our special guest, Suzanne, for joining us on stage tonight. Join us next Wednesday from 7 to 8 o'clock right here, streaming live on Facebook. Until next time, have a good night, everybody. Stay safe and be well.
Good night. Good night. Hello. 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 No,